Okay, so the next tool we're going to talk about is gradients. We already talked about it a little bit when we were using that color.adobe.com tool, and we used it with the sunset and I think with the Missouri State picture. But now let's actually look where in Adobe Illustrator you would input those values. So let's go ahead. I'm going to click M for my rectangle tool. I know, I'm tired of rectangles too, but you know, that's how it goes. And then we're going to either go over here and click on the gradient tool, or we can press the letter G. Oh, first I need to select my square again. Okay, so it brings up our gradient menu here. I was playing around in here and I did a crazy gradient, so that's why the colors are all over. So if you actually click on the line here that has all of the colors, again, yeah, it looks really bad. So I'm just gonna delete some of these stops here. So a stop is basically a different color in your gradient timeline, if you will. So let me just show you. So let's go ahead. We're going to change this stop to a more appropriate color. So I'm going to pick white from over here in my MSU library. So as you can see, it changed it up here as well. If we wanted to add another color in between the maroon and the white, you would come down until you see that little plus sign. So now you've added a stop, and I'm going to make it that blue. So now it's going from maroon to blue to white. Let's say though that you don't really like how rigid it is. This is where you can come up here to the gradient slider, and basically it decides how smoothly it transitions from one color to the next and where that transition happens. So which color it'll be closer to when it does that. I'm not loving this, but you know, these colors don't really flow very well either. Let's change the initial one to midnight. Ooh, that looks a lot better. You can also change the type of gradient. So you can make it like this little circle gradient. They call it radial gradient. Or freeform. Freeform's gonna take a while, I guess. To be honest, I don't really use freeform, but you'll probably mostly stick with linear. You can also change the opacity of each stop. And then if you wanted your entire gradient, we're gonna flip it by 90 degrees. So it's going to change where the stops start and, well, stop. Change it to 30 degrees, 45. So anyway, pretty fun tool to use, especially on like backgrounds or if you're designing sunsets, things of that nature. I think a little gradient goes a long way. So something like this I think is fine, where it's, you know, fairly muted and everything. But you can make some really obnoxious gradients if you want to. But I would stay away from that. Anyway, if y'all have any more questions about gradients, feel free to reach out, but let's move on to brushes.